So imagine accidentally broadcasting the obituary of a living king.
Right, a complete nightmare scenario.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, on May 19th, 2026, a staff member at the UK broadcaster Radio Caroline did exactly that. They were just, doing some routine IT maintenance, and they stumbled across these pre-recorded obituary files for King Charles III.
They accidentally pushed them live.
Yes. Cue the national anthem, and then followed by 16 agonizing minutes of dead air while the newsroom just scrambled. So, welcome to today's deep dive. Our mission today is to explore this really fascinating Pendulum intelligence report. It shows how this, seemingly corrected mistake snowballed into a massive viral brand crisis months after the fact.
Which is just wild to see in the data.
It really is. Okay, let's unpack this because the mechanics of how this story spread are, frankly, wild. The station apologizes and the news cycle just moves on.
Right, it seems like it's totally over.
Yeah, it's like an asymptomatic virus or a digital time bomb. The station thought they cured the mistake in May, but the story was essentially just incubating off the radar. Then, 3 months later, an Ofcom regulatory ruling about that original broadcast drops.
And that completely compromises the system's immune response all over again. That regulatory ruling is really the perfect catalyst here. It brought the story back, but, and this is key, it didn't return as traditional news.
Right, it became something else entirely.
Exactly. It mutated into entertainment. You had creators on TikTok and YouTube who just latched onto this one specific, completely unverified detail. They claimed the staffer played the files out of curiosity and then panicked and fled.
Wait, really? Because I read the official regulatory findings you shared, and that panic and flee narrative wasn't even in there.
Nope, not at all. But what's fascinating here is how human curiosity just completely hijacks the facts. A dry technical glitch about IT maintenance, well, that doesn't go viral.
No, nobody cares about that.
Right. But the relatable drama of messing up at work, panicking, and running away, I mean, we all know that feeling of wanting the floor to swallow us whole.
Oh, absolutely. I've been there.
That human element turns a really boring procedural story into highly shareable content. And that allows this slow burn crisis to entirely escape the normal, rapid decay of a standard news cycle.
Here's where it gets really interesting for me, though. If this originally happened in May, the news cycle should be completely dead by August. I mean, traditional tech scanners usually show a flat line after a week. So why did the station's monitoring tools completely miss this massive second wave?
Basically because those traditional tools are literally deaf. They just can't hear it.
What do you mean by deaf?
Well, the Pendulum data shows a massive 237% week-over-week spike in spoken mentions. People weren't, typing out thought pieces on blogs. They were acting the scenario out on video platforms.
Oh, so they were speaking the narrative aloud for their followers. Meaning the traditional text scraping software was just looking at an empty room while the party was happening next door.
That is a great way to put it. Pendulum actually caught 25 critical mentions strictly through speech-to-text transcripts of those videos. If a communications team relies solely on text-only monitoring, they are entirely blind to the actual vector of the crisis. You really have to monitor multimedia like audio and video to see the real conversation.
So, what does this all mean for a brand trying to defend itself? We've established the need to monitor multimedia and, anticipate procedural milestones like that Ofcom ruling.
Right, those are crucial first steps.
But looking at the data, I'm stuck on this Bluesky metric. There were only 26 mentions on that platform. Why should a massive corporate comms team even care about a number that small? I mean, isn't that just a drop in the bucket?
It looks like it, yeah. But if we connect this to the bigger picture, it's not about the volume, it's about the concentration. That tiny Bluesky community carried an 81% negative sentiment.
Wow, 81% is huge.
It is. Niche, highly concentrated communities act as the canary in the coal mine. They incubate the most extreme versions of a narrative and really set the tone that the larger platforms eventually inherit.
Okay, so you spot the negative tone early on a niche site. Can't the comms team just reach out, issue a correction, and shut it down?
Not anymore, unfortunately. Look at the data set again. 62% of these mentions came from anonymous accounts. The old public relations playbook relies on a hub-and-spoke model.
Right, where you find the main influencer, issue a correction directly to them, and just let the truth trickle down to their followers.
Exactly.
I see. But with anonymous accounts, there is no hub. It's just a decentralized swarm. You can't issue a targeted correction to a faceless mob.
Which means organizations have to completely rethink their crisis playbooks. You can't just fight the source anymore. You have to address the overall narrative environment.
So why should you, listening to this deep dive, care about a UK radio station's bad day? Because this latent risk lives in every single digital system we build.
Yeah, it really does.
Any organization with, say, dormant automated systems, scheduled emails, or contingency files sitting around just in case, carries this exact vulnerability.
It just takes one moment of human curiosity to trigger a massive cascade.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you to chew on. If our most private, panic-induced human mistakes are now immortalized, ripped from their context, and endlessly regenerated as viral audio memes by faceless accounts, how does that change the way we should design our digital fail-safe systems in the first place?